And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode. This is the Sports Cave. Your co-host Robbie, my co-host Zach, and folks, we got to get through this episode a little quick today. Zach has some obligations, and we're both fucking tired as fuck.
Long week, ladies and gentlemen. Long week. Unfortunately, like Robbie said, I got some stuff I got to take care of, so we're gonna make this one a little short and sweet, just like me in the sack. Let's well, first of all, welcome everybody. You know, I'm seeing no one in the chat thus far.
Someone brought to my attention today, Zachary. Why does my label say depressed Yankees fan?
It's still there.
Why else wouldn't it be, Zach? They lost the World Series. This whole Juan Soto sweepstake is still fucking going on. And yeah, I'm depressed right now because I don't know what the fuck's going to happen. But Zach, we do have some baseball to talk about.
I was just going to say, some good news just came into Yankee Town just before we started this podcast. So
who cares? Yeah, so we'll have a little bit of baseball to talk about. We got some NBA news. We got some hockey news that we were trying to get into on Tuesday, but with how long the show went, we weren't able to get through it. So we're going to try to get through that. We got our Week 12 picks. Zach, I was looking through the spreads. I don't like any.
They're fucked this week, is what they are. I have 3 picked out that I'm going to lose on all 3 of them, Robbie.
Meatloaf, welcome. Ryan,
Mr. Ryan, how are you?
Daniel, thank you for joining.
What's up, boys?
Dad has
well, Robert, what do you say we Robert, what do you say we get right into this puppy here, huh?
Okay, let's get sued.
Sue our ass. Sue Bird. Ladies and gentlemen, that sound means nothing else besides football talk on the Sports Cave. And kicking it off, Robert, Thursday night football, Pittsburgh Steelers against the Cleveland Browns, my Cleveland Browns in Cleveland. Robbie, do you have FanDuel opened up?
Of course I do, and it comes in with the Pittsburgh Steelers, 3.5-point favorites. And Zach, we talked about before the show, I talked about today with people at work, this is a trap game.
This is a trap game. I don't know why I have confidence in my Browns for this game.
It's going to be rainy and disgusting out there.
It's going to be a rainy game, exactly. A lot of running. The only thing, last time Nick Chubb faced the Steelers on Thursday Night Football, we all know what happened.
My leg!
His leg snapped in half. So,
my leg!
Robbie.
Zach.
I know I've been saying it's a trap game, but I am going to use a 1-point pick on this.
Oh, Christ all fucking mighty, dude.
And I'm going to take the Steelers on the points. I've had enough of watching this Cleveland Browns team play. I've heard, I still feel like this might be a bit of a trap game, but from what the Steelers have shown me, they're going to kill us tonight. They have to. I know the conditions are going to be bad, which actually might even play better into the offense for Steelers because they don't have to have Russell Wilson throw the ball as much, which as of late, it seems like he's had a little tough time doing.
So you're taking the Steelers with your spread?
1-point pick, yep. Yeah, that's where we're at now.
No.
Well, Dad chimes in. He hopes that Jameis Winston sticks it to you. You're a traitor.
Well, I'm a traitor. Bob has been talking shit about the Cowboys for like 4 weeks straight on this episode. How pathetic they are.
You have a valid point. You do have a valid point.
Hypocrite there, Bob. That's a hypocrite right there. Who do you got in this one there, Robert?
Zach, I'm going with the Steelers as well. Who's going to really step up for the receivers for the Cleveland? Is it going to be Njoku? Is it going to be Judy again? Are they going to Cedric Tillman? But I just don't know what Chubb is going to be further on the season with Jameis Winston at the quarterback. I think he'd be a lot better with Watson in there. But with Jameis in there, what are the chances that you guys go to DRT or DTR, whatever his name is?
At this point, I have no idea, to be honest. I guess there is a decent chance. I mean, Jameis is like a fucking wild card, dude. It's like the guy could throw for 350, have a great game. He's good for 2 interceptions a game, I'm learning. That's just a guarantee for Jameis Winston. So if you want to make some cash, bet the over on interceptions for him. I don't know. From what I've seen from DTR, that guy is not an NFL quarterback. So I would keep him far away from this team unless you're tanking to get a draft pick. In that case, throw him in there. So you got the Steelers, Robert.
Yes, sir.
Well, let's slap it on here and move on to the Sunday games. I'm stuck in my throat. The Chicago Bears are hosting the Minnesota Vikings. 8-2 for the Vikings, 4-6 for the Bears. Robbie's spread.
Sorry, I was also doing my picks on my thing. 3.5.
Yes.
Chicago is getting 3.5.
Chicago's getting 3.5. The Vikings haven't looked near as good as they have to start the season, but Chicago has looked absolutely pitiful. The offense looks like it's just given up this year, and for those reasons, I'm going to take the Vikings. I'm going to stay away from my picks on this one, but if I was to make a pick, it would be taking the Vikings on the points, Robbie.
I thought about taking the Vikings with 3.5 as my 3-point play, but I'm going to do it with my 1-point play. I'm going to take the Vikings minus 3.5 against the Chicago Bears. I mean, the Chicago Bears are due, Zach. They are due.
They are, but it's like, dude, I mean, from what you've seen from them, though, the fact that Mike Eberflus still has a job is mind-boggling.
He will be gone by the end of the season. And it was reported last Tuesday, I think like as we got off the show or Wednesday, that the leading candidate for the Chicago Bears job is Cliff Kingsbury, which actually makes perfect sense because he was Caleb Williams' offensive coordinator at USC. So, I mean, it makes perfect sense. And then look what the Commanders are doing offensively. So it makes sense.
So you are taking the Vikings with your 1-point play, Robbie. I do not mind it whatsoever.
Yeah, I hate these bets.
These are tough ones. This week's a tough one here. Like, for instance, this next game here, Robbie. Detroit Lions, from what I'm seeing here, they're getting 7.5 points.
Correct. Yep.
Favored on the road against the Colts. I mean, that's another tough one. Like, yes, you're looking at that on paper. Obviously, the way Detroit's been playing in that offense, they should have no problem covering the 7.5. They're on the road. Indianapolis is a tough place to go into. Richardson actually looked pretty goddamn good last week for the first time in his career that I've seen.
He looked like ass.
So, I mean, again, that's a tough one. I'm going to take the Lions to win, Robbie, but I mean, the Colts, I could see them covering that spread.
These spreads are fucking insane, dude. I'm going to tell you how many double-digit spreads there are. I think I'd seen only 2. 2. All right, I'm going to say at least by a touchdown. 1 touchdown, 2 touchdown, 3, 4, 5, 6, nearly 7. Nearly 7 games, and we have 6 teams on buys. Nearly 7 games are by a touchdown. There's one game at 5.5. That's insane.
That's insanity.
It's insanity. But Zachary, I'm also going to go with the Detroit Lions. And at some point, too, I mean, they're riding a hot streak, just like what the Chiefs are doing. At some point, they need that loss to happen sooner rather than later.
We also should point out before we move on to the next game, Detroit Lions, now the favorites to win the Super Bowl.
Oh, shit. That deserves a round of applause.
Yeah. It's also got to be the first time in like their fucking career that in the franchise's history.
They never made it to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. All right, Robbie, the next game here. I mean, this is another tough one because it's an interdivisional matchup. Tua Tagovailoa and the Miami Dolphins hosting Mr. Drake May and the New England Patriots. I believe it's 7.5 points the Pats are getting on the road here, Robbie.
7 o'clock. 7 o'clock.
7 on the.
Jesus Christ. 7 points.
Yeah, okay.
We're
tired, folks.
I'm fucking exhausted.
7 points.
I spelled drawer wrong. I'm talking about 7 o'clock.
That was insane, dude.
It's not insane. I'm fucking tired, dude.
Well, thankfully for you, we do not have a long one tonight, folks. But Robbie, I'm just going to keep this one short and sweet here. I'm going to take the Dolphins, but I'm staying away from that point. 7.5 or 7 is too much for me. Too much that I'm looking at. I don't like it.
Now, I saw a stat here that seems interesting, but to me, it really isn't interesting when you look at the list. Highest accuracy percentage current for starters from weeks 1 through 11. Number 5 is Joe Burrow, 80.6. Number 4 is Aaron Rodgers at 85.1. Number 3 is Sam Darnold, 86.5. Number 2 is Geno Smith at 90. Number 1 is Drake May at 91.9. I don't see Patrick Mahomes on there. I don't see Josh Allen. I don't see any elite quarterback outside of Joe Burrow on there because Aaron Rodgers sucks. Sam Darnold has kind of come back to reality. Geno Smith is mid. So Drake May's just in a mid category there. I did have to pick him up in fantasy because I have a lot of buys. In case you guys didn't hear us like fucking 3 minutes ago. Bengals are out. Falcons are out. The Bills are out. The Jets are out. The Jaguars are out.
And the Saints.
And the Saints. So, I mean, with the Bills and the Bengals, you're losing on Josh Allen, James Cook, Tim Higgins, Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow, Chase Brown. The Falcons are missing on Bijan.
Oh, my God. It's Thursday Night Football time. I haven't even looked at my lineup yet. I'm pretty sure I got a bunch of guys I'm going to have to play.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, dude. I got buys left, right, and fucking center, baby. Holy shit.
In Joey's league, it's very good that I have a 2-game league because I'm in first. It's very lucky I have a 2-game league because I'm going to use a lot of bench players this week. It's not good.
Yeah.
But going on to this game here, Zachary, the Dolphins and the Patriots. Tua's had the Patriots number, and honestly, I almost want to take them -7, but Drake May has kept the Patriots very competitive since he's taken over the starting job for Jacoby Brissett. I'm not going to take the Patriots to win this game. This game's on the road in Miami, although I think this does play in a lot more kind of in a way of Drake May's favor because he's used to that warm climate. He's been playing in what's cold to him, seeing how you're playing from fucking Raleigh, North Carolina to Foxborough, Massachusetts. Yeah. The weather's been kind of nice, 40s or 50s, some 60 degrees wise. It's going to be the Dolphins' victory. I expect Tyreek Hill to do absolutely nothing because Christian Gonzalez has been locking down everybody he's been up against this year. Waddle's going to have to step up. Jonnu Smith is going to step up, and so is the running game. And I think that's what's going to win this game for the Dolphins because the Patriots' rushing defense is just absolutely putrid to go along with the offensive line. It's putrid. What do you mean? We know that we suck. Your Cleveland Browns, you thought I had a chance of making the playoffs with your sexual assault.
I thought maybe at the beginning of the season, Robbie, but that dream's been killed for a while now.
You lost to the Cowboys by like 4 touchdowns week 1.
Well, and like I said, start of the season, Robbie. Okay? That was after the start. Before going in, when it first started, I had some hope.
Fucking losers. Browns fans sounded like this when they were saying that, there's a chance to make the playoffs.
Yeah, that's how you sound when you try to spell fucking drawer, Drore, you dumb fuck.
All hail the New York Giants. New York Giants!
That's okay. At least I'm not a idiot.
Lost to Daniel Jones.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers favorites on the road against not Daniel Jones, but Tommy DeVito and the New York Giants. Rob, what are we getting under a spread there?
5.5 for the Buccaneers.
5.5 for the Buccaneers. I'm going to take the Buccaneers money line. My point picks are already in play. Like I already have them chosen, so I've thought about it for a second there, but I'm just going to take the Buccaneers money line.
I'm not tired when I say this. I'm taking the New York Giants to win. Taking the Giants this game. I'm putting them as a 2-point play with the plus 5.5. And the reason why I am taking this, Zachary, is because Tommy DeVito last year. I mean, think about it. Let me sip my beer first. Excuse me. Okay, the running game with Tracy and Singletary has been decently well. It's not to compare to Saquon, but Tommy DeVito was winning games last year with the same bad offensive line. Without Andrew Thomas is what the same situation is this year. But now you add in an elite wide receiver. I'm putting elite in the category for Malik Neighbors. I think he's an absolute stud. I think Daniel Jones has failed Malik Neighbors by missing him on so many opportunities where I think Tommy DeVito is going to force feed him the ball, which will set up everything, whether it's the running game, whether it's dishing out screen passes to Mondale Robinson or Jalen Hyatt, whoever it's going to be, or Darius Slayton on the deep ball. The Buccaneers are coming off a bye. They're going to be well refreshed, but the problem is that their defense isn't anything compared to the New York Giants. The Giants have a really good defense, dude. They do. It's just that the offense can't get nothing going, which is why Daniel Jones is now the 4th-string quarterback behind Drew Lock, and guess what? Tim fucking Boyle. Okay. I think the Giants have a very good chance to win this game. I think the fan base is going to show up rowdy and energized for Tommy Cutlets. How you doing? I think the Giants win this game on Sunday.
Wow, Robbie. Well, I mean, that's a bold pick. I'm not going to lie to you. That is a ballsy pick. It's a great breakdown there. I just think you're putting a lot into Tommy DeVito, but I guess we will see.
What I've been saying since week 1.
Yeah, but
every episode.
I know, but he also hasn't played a snap of football in about a calendar year.
He didn't play a snap of football when he took over for Daniel Jones or whoever it was. I think it was Tyrod Taylor when he got hurt, and he beat Washington on the road.
At some point, Cinderella stories come to an end, Robert.
Or they continue to thrive, and we will see what happens this Sunday.
2-point play for Robert here.
Next Thursday, fucking the Thanksgiving Bowl between the Dallas Cowboys and New York Giants features Tommy DeVito and Cooper Rush.
Yeah, well, speaking of Cooper Rush, Robbie, that's actually the next game on the list. And boy, oh boy, are the Washington Commanders favored in this one, hosting Cooper Rush and the Cowgirls. Robbie, I'm seeing 10.5 points. Is that what you're seeing on FanDuel?
Correct.
10.5. That is a spread and a half right there. Obviously, I'm going to stay away because it is a divisional matchup, but the Commanders are going to just absolutely run the field on this pathetic loser franchise that we call the Dallas Cowboys, Robert.
I think because I'm a smart man. By the way, we found it out on Tuesday. I didn't put $100 in the Bengals. And by the way, that parlay I made with Miguel, bro, OKC fucking let me down. Those stupid fucking losers let me down. I would have had $200. Everything else hit.
God damn.
I'm gonna take that with my minus the minus 10.5 for the Commanders. I'm taking my 3-point play.
Wow.
Who else knows that Cowboys defense better than the head coach Dan Quinn, who's coached every single one of those members on that team? Mike McCarthy can't get nothing going with this team. This team is just failing and falling apart, just like their stadium, just like their quarterback, just like their owner. America's team is kind of like in the situation America's been for the last 4 years under Joe Biden's presidency, a dumpster. Trash. Ground zero. Catastrophic failure. That describes the Dallas Cowboys this season. And the Washington Commanders are going to kill, murder, destroy, and annihilate the Dallas Cowboys.
Wow.
Washington.
That's a big 3-point play. Honestly, Robbie, I could see it happening.
What has Cleveland ever won? Shit. Talk about a loser rooting for a loser franchise. That's
I saw that. That's just a lot of noise over there, though, you know. Haters fuel me is what they do, Robert. Okay, Robbie, this next game, I mean, this is the biggest spread of the week. Minus 11 I'm seeing for the Kansas City Chiefs.
I got minus 10.5.
Minus 10.5, so matching the spread of the Cowgirls and Commanders. Carolina Panthers 3-7 hosting the Chiefs, 9-1 coming off that loss last week. Honestly, if I hadn't already picked if I was going to put a point pick on this, I think I'd probably be leaning more towards the Panthers covering, Robbie. I don't know what it is about the Chiefs team this year. I know they're 9-1. They're not blowing teams away. Every game is close. They're all one possession games. So why is this one going to be any different? I am going to take the Chiefs on the money line, and I'm going to stay away from this on my picks. But if I was, I'd be leaning more towards taking the Panthers on the points.
I think that Isaiah Pacheco has a chance of returning this Sunday and is probably going to return on Sunday, which is nice
not good for Kareem Hunt.
addition back. That's a nice addition back for the Kansas City Chiefs.
So I'm going to assume you're probably going to take the Chiefs in this one, Robert.
Yeah, I didn't think I had to say anything. I think it's given.
Okay, this next one here, Robbie, probably another somewhat obvious one here. Tennessee Titans going into Houston to play the Texans. What are we getting for points there, Robbie?
The Texans are favored by 7.5. Another division game. Tennessee Titans defense is pretty good, and honestly, Will Levis and Calvin Ridley have kind of clicked as of recently. I'm taking the Texans to win this game, but that spread is,
The spread's a little scary. I'm staying away from the spread myself as well, too, Robbie, but I'm joining you on that right there, that the Texans are going to win this football game.
I'll tell you what, I'm probably going to do a parlay of all these heavy favorite teams, the Texans, the Commanders, the Chiefs, the Lions, etc., and all the rest of them, most of them at least. I might parlay all that.
I mean, that probably would pay out a decent amount. You're talking with the spreads?
Yeah, no, not with spreads, just money line, straight up money line.
That might pay $10, might give you $11 back.
Maybe.
We both got the Texans here, Robert. Next game here, this one. The Denver Broncos have been kind of a surprising team this year, Robbie, and they move into Las Vegas for the weekend to face the Raiders. Broncos are getting how many points on the road here, Robbie?
They're not getting, they're giving.
Sorry.
They're giving 6.5 on the road.
6.5 to the Raiders. I mean, again, I have my point picks already. I got them picked out, so I'm going to stay away from this one. But the Broncos are going to win this game, Robbie. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's turmoil in Las Vegas right now.
Yeah, it's rock bottom in Las Vegas, and the Broncos are going to win this game.
Robbie, this next one is actually very enticing, and it is massive for playoff implications, more so for one team than the other, but the Green Bay Packers hosting
a rematch.
Rivals. Yes, rematch of what was the NFC semis last year? Was that the championship? NFC Divisional, yeah. Divisional matchup. San Francisco 49ers, 5-5, going into Green Bay to play the Packers, 7-3. We all know about the history of these two teams, folks. Robbie, what the points are, what a Green Bay 2.5?
Green Bay is favored by 2.5.
Green Bay 2.5 at home. Robbie, this is a tough one here. I am going to take the Green Bay Packers to win money line, Robbie, but I'm going to stay away from the spread. I know this game means a lot for San Francisco, but I just haven't seen anything from San Fran. I don't know if Brock Purdy's even playing.
His status is up in the air.
I'm taking the Packers. I'm going with my boy Ryan.
I love it.
Go, Pack, go! Go, Pack, go!
Now, I had to make room, for my computer when I'm downloading the episodes to put them out there.
Yeah.
I accidentally deleted Go Pack Go off my board here because well, Zachary, Brock Purdy's hurt. Although Jordan Love has kind of been like an interception machine, I mean, he finds a way to win these games. And it should be also noted, Zach, that there is no Jair Alexander most likely this Sunday, but it's not really anything, if you ask my opinion, anything big because Deebo Samuel's been so ass this year. So with all that being said there, I'm taking the Green Bay Packers as well.
Both.
Go, Pack, go! Go, Pack, go!
Both boys on the pack. We got 3 more games to go over, Robbie, and I don't know if you're counting, but I still have 2 picks left to go.
Yeah, you do.
And one of them is getting taken out right here, Robbie. I'm taking the Arizona Cardinals on the point against the Seattle Seahawks for my 2-point play, Robert.
All right. I like that. I like that play. It's only 1.5. Arizona has Kyler Murray. I think has been like I think he was like 3-4 before Black Ops 6 came out. He's like 3-0 since.
I mean, he's probably double XPing right now. You know, maybe he's
and he probably has those red bullets or the gumball bullets or the green bullets or the fire bullets.
Oh yeah, but that's my 2-point play, Robbie. I'm taking the Cardinals on the road against the Seahawks.
I'm taking them on the road as well against Seattle. Seattle got off to a good start this season. They've kind of fallen back, but Seattle is 4-3 when they have DK Metcalf. I believe they are now 1-2 because they won against they're 5-3, I think, with DK Metcalf. How many wins do they have? Yeah, 5. Because they're 0-2 without DK Metcalf. So, but the home field advantage hasn't been in favor of the Seattle Seahawks this year. They're 2-4 at home this year. So the 12th man's got to really step up for this team if they want some victories and try to contend for the playoffs because they are right there. I mean, the Cardinals don't hold any big lead over the Seahawks, over the Niners, or over the Rams in the NFC West. So we'll see what happens, but I think the Cardinals are going to prevail with the victory.
I'm with you on that one, Robbie. Well, let's go right now into Sunday Night Football. One of the hottest teams in the league right now, the Philadelphia Eagles, going into Los Angeles to play the Rams. Robbie, what are the points on this one here?
The points are in favor of the Eagles by 2.5, and Devontae Smith has missed practice for the second straight day now, and there's a good chance that his status is up in the air that he won't play on Sunday.
Well, didn't know that, Robbie, but that hasn't changed my mind. I'm taking the Eagles on the points, 3-point play. They've been too hot lately.
Oh, wrong one. Oh, don't play. Oh, thank God. I thought I was going to play Go Pack Go.
Sound it, baby.
I like it, Zach, but it's a little tricky there because of the status of Devontae Smith.
Yeah, I know that, to be honest with you, but I was already locked in.
I'm going to take the Eagles to win this game. This is another team. I mean, just like the Lions, they've been winning too many games that at some point they need that loss. I don't think it'll be this Sunday, but it's going to come soon.
All right, we both got the Eagles, and I do kind of agree with you on that one there, Robbie, but I like you said, I don't think it's going to happen this weekend. This Monday Night Football game, Robbie, has potential to be an absolute fantastic
Now, the crew over at SoFi Field, Zach, has a lot of work in their hands to change the fields in less than 24 hours.
Yeah, because you have the Los Angeles Rams hosting the Eagles, and then boom, 24 hours and 5 minutes later, the Baltimore Ravens are coming in to face the Los Angeles Chargers. 7-4.
Actually, Zachary, it's 23 hours.
Yeah, 55 minutes. Yep, you are right.
Idiot!
Baltimore Ravens.
My fucking drawer?
Okay,
Idiot!
well, that's, a bit easier of an error to make than what you did.
Dick. Suck my dick.
Baltimore Ravens 7-4 against the Chargers 7-3. The Harbaugh Bowl, Robert. Baltimore coming off a tough loss last week against the Steelers. The Chargers have just been figuring teams out. I am going to take Baltimore on the road, though, in this one, Robbie.
I'm going to take them as well on the road. I think that they have something to prove. They were embarrassed by losing to the Steelers off of 6 field goals. But brother versus brother for the first time in a while, Zachary. You know when's the last time that John and Jim coached against each other?
Super Bowl.
Super Bowl.
And we all know how that one went. Robbie, that's it for the NFL Week 12, baby. We got a big Week 12, a lot of divisional matchups, a lot of weird spreads. What would you like to get into now, Robbie? Can I? You know what? Let me go quickly through this NHL news because we didn't have time to do it on. Bam, baby. NHL news on the Sports Cave here. Starting off, guys, just because me and Robbie are Leaf fans here, we have a little bit of an update on star forward Mr. Austin Matthews. He's been day to day for 3 weeks now. So no answers. There's no one's telling us what's wrong with the injury. All we know now is that he has pulled the Christian McCaffrey and traveled to Germany to seek a specialist. In which people are saying, or from what I've been reading, it's someone that he's dealt with before, and it's just the conformality of dealing with him again. He's living out in Germany now, so Matthews made the trip down there. Hopefully he's close to a return. To be honest with you, I mean, at this point, with the way the Leafs are playing, I don't have a problem if he takes his time to make sure he gets 100% healthy.
Yeah.
We're winning games right now, so it's not like, I don't want to say we don't need him, because obviously you have him on the fucking roster. He's obviously going to add to it, but I think the health is the most important part for him at this point if we want to make some sort of a long run this year. So just a little Matthews update, Robert, and boys and girls at home.
I can use him on my fantasy fucking hockey team right now.
I got him in the other league that I'm in, and yes, I can use him as well.
Zach, I got some other news just in case. I don't know which I've written down. I haven't looked through the notes. You want to talk about the next one?
Which one? Which news do you got there?
Goaltender for the Hurricanes, former Toronto Maple Leaf, Frederik Andersen, is expected to miss at least 2 months because of knee surgery. Timetable's 8 to 12 weeks. 35-year-old netminder will have surgery Friday with a projected recovery of 8 to 12 weeks. That comes roughly a week after Rod Brind'Amour, right?
Rob Brind'Amour. Yeah.
Brind'Amour said the team had originally hoped Andersen back week to week, but now faces way longer time frame with an unspecified injury. Zachary, how dangerous is that for Carolina?
I mean, they're still at the top of the league there. I believe, I can't remember who the backup is, but I'm pretty sure they got a pretty comparable backup.
I got you. I'll look it up.
But the thing that I've been reading about this Andersen injury,
they called up Spencer Martin from the AHL Chicago Wolves to back up fellow goaltender Piotr
Kwiatkowski,
whatever the fuck that is. Yeah.
He's not bad, that guy. He's actually not bad. I think he can hold the weight down for him for the time being. And from what I was reading about this Andersen injury, is this surgery is more of just like kind of a cleanup. Like, it wasn't necessarily – it was just someone, I guess, that's been nagging him for a little bit, so they're going to go in there, nip it in the butt, and get it done. 8 to 10 weeks.
What if it's in the fucking knee, you stupid ass?
Well, nip it in the butt is a fucking saying, you dumb fuck.
You said some stupid saying on Tuesday's show about, like, a bird's float. Or
if you judge a fish on its ability to climb a tree, it'll live its whole life thinking it's stupid. It's a nice quote.
No one's ever heard of that quote.
It's a goddamn quote. People say it.
Who says that outside of you? Give me one person.
Here, you know what? Do me a favor right now, Robbie. Take your phone out and Google, if you judge, and I almost think it'll pop up.
If you judge a fish.
Look at that, you stupid fuck.
Everybody,
it's a very well-known quote.
Judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree will live its whole life believing that it's stupid is often attributed to Albert Einstein. You fucking nerd. You're a fucking nerd.
Told you, it's a quote that people know.
You're a fucking nerd.
Well, I'll tell you what, who's not a nerd, Robbie? Alexander Ovechkin. I mean, unfortunately, he was on an absolute tear, Robbie. Just 5 goals in the last 2 games he played in. Went down with a leg injury, and we now have news today that broke that it has been determined to be a broken fibula, out 4 to 6 weeks. I'm going to have to say that's probably going to put a halt to the Wayne Gretzky record breaker this season. So, I mean, for the NHL, at least it just adds more into him going next year. You know?
Now, that is a devastating loss, Zachary, and it's for 2 reasons. One, because we wanted to see the record get broken this year. It looks like it's probably have to wait another year. Number 2, the Washington Capitals right now are only 1 point behind Carolina from first place in the Metropolitan.
They're on fire, dude. They're on fire. Mm-hmm. Dylan Strome is having this was a guy that Dylan Strome kid, when we drafted Marner, I wanted Dylan Strome, and he got picked right before Mitch Marner did. Obviously, in the grand scheme of things, Marner has turned out to be a more superior hockey player. But Dylan Strome found a good connection with with Alexander Ovechkin, where it kind of reminded me of watching like a vintage Nick Backstrom and Alex Ovechkin playing. And I don't know if you're familiar with Nick Backstrom, Rob, because you are a bit of a newer hockey fan. He was basically one of the main reasons why Ovechkin has as many goals as he has. Obviously, Ovechkin's a great goal scorer, but Backstrom was one of the greatest passers that I've ever seen. And him and Ovechkin just tormented the league for what seemed like a decade. So once you get him back, I mean, you got to hope he can pick up that same momentum he had, but it's going to be tough to come back from an injury like that and continue to score at the age he's at. Also, we should point out the guy has missed 39 games his entire NHL career with injuries.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a fucking mule.
Yeah. Isn't he Russian?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a tough motherfucker.
Oh yeah. Robbie, what else we got here for the NHL? I mean, I'm going to save the big news for last, actually, here. One thing we have to point out, Robbie, Connor McDavid, fourth fastest player to hit 1,000 points, did it, and I believe it was like 659 games, I think it was, which is, I mean, just impressive. I mean, you got to give credit where credit's due. I think Connor McDavid will be the second ever NHL player in the history of the league to amass 2,000 NHL points, Robbie.
Well, let's get to the big news because this is something that broke
Yeah.
Tuesday before we went live. We didn't have a chance to get to it. This is the big news that Zach called not too long ago.
The panic buttons are just going off galore right now in Boston to Bruins territory. Obviously not the start they want to get to. There's been a lot of rumors about Mr. Montgomery, their head coach, being let go. And those rumors were put to rest, Robbie, because, yes, in fact, the Boston Bruins have fired Jim Montgomery, who has done really nothing but wonders for this Boston Bruins team since taking over. I mean, you have the best regular season in NHL history. Sure, you get bounced in the first round. Then you have a team that's not supposed to be anything, and they have an incredible year. Yes, they lose in the playoffs after beating Toronto in the first round. I mean, to me, this is way too fast of a firing. There's probably about 6 or 7 teams in the NHL right now that are looking at their head coach going, yeah, you might be getting canned, buddy, because Jim Montgomery's available. Obviously, this guy's a born winner. To me, it's a really stupid play, and it's kind of shocking. I guess they just did it early enough in the season where it's not like they're just throwing it away at this point. Maybe they get a new scheme of thing, but I just look at their offense. I'm like, what do you expect Montgomery to do? They don't have anybody on offense besides David Pastrnak. Brad Marchand's a shell of himself this year. The guy had 3 surgeries this summer. You're not going to come back and play top-tier hockey after getting 3 surgeries. McAvoy's obviously playing great. Swayman's not really doing too much. I mean, to me, it's not Montgomery's fault. I understand you want to make a change. Winning is the culture there. They're not getting it done in the playoffs, but to me, it's a stupid firing, and I really hope nothing but just horribleness happens with this franchise this year, Robbie.
Oh, I agree. You know how we are with the Bruins.
Yeah.
Well, Zachary, what about Coyle? Because I recall last year you were very adamant that he was going to do absolutely nothing to help the team whatsoever last year. And last year he was actually a big producer. What's going on with him this year? Anything that
Nothing. He's come right back to reality. That's the biggest problem with Boston Bruins is their center depth is horrible.
Yeah.
They don't have a number 1 center. They don't even really have a number 2 center, to be honest with you, and it's showing. Like I almost feel bad for a guy like Pastrnak, who's pretty much having to just carry the load like a fucking camel every single game for this team in order for them to muster out a win. But I don't feel bad for him because he plays in the Bruins. But Robbie, that's pretty much it for the NHL news. Actually, one last thing. Our boy Ryan Reeves, 5-game suspension for literally taking the head off Darnell Nurse. I mean, it was a dirty hit. But I will say this before we move on. I have never played NHL hockey. I've never played professional hockey. I've never even played AAA hockey, which is the hockey that these guys grew up playing when they were kids. But I know in the level of fucking hockey that I played, if you are a defenseman and you are rounding the net with the puck on your stick, you take a look to see if somebody's coming. Darnell Nurse takes 6 strides with his head down at the puck like this. You're in the fucking NHL, dude. People are going to try to hit you and take you off the puck. And unfortunately, Ryan Reeves missed your body and took your head clean off. But that probably wouldn't have happened if you take a look up and you see that someone's coming. And to be honest with you, 5-game suspension for that. Get the fuck out of here. That's a 2-game suspension, in my opinion. 5 games is brutal. That's all I'm going to say.
Football and hockey have gone soft, Zachary.
Very soft.
On to the next sport.
Yep.
the NBA on the Sports Cave.
You're gonna have to take control of this, Robbie.
Get over this right now.
Yeah.
If we don't bring this up, we will never hear the end of it, Zachary. And it's a great accomplishment. It is. Russell Westbrook is the only player in NBA history for the time being with 200 triple-doubles, which is obviously most of all time. He's already passed Oscar Robertson. Zachary, 200 triple-doubles. What are your thoughts?
I mean, it's very impressive, Robbie. I understand that the whole, when he was doing this in his prime, everyone was, it's a fucking stat padding.
Which it was.
Okay, but even if it's stat padding, dude, to still do that on a consistent basis, day in or game in and game out, it's still impressive. I don't care what anyone says. The guy is gonna. It's still It's still very impressive. 200 triple doubles.
Was it stat padding? Absolutely was, because essentially Steven Adams was boxing out and Russ was swooping in for the rebound. But if you really think about it, it is also kind of smart, because in that concept, with his elite speed that he has, you're pushing the pace up the court.
Right up away.
At the time where he actually shot the three ball pretty decently, it's not the same as what it was. It was an unbelievable weapon to have. And to continue to still put up triple doubles coming off, I believe he's still coming off the bench for Denver. I mean, good for him. Good for him.
Yeah, I mean, especially at this point in his career, I think we thought maybe the triple doubles were going to be a ceasefire for Mr. Westbrook, but the guy just proves he is a triple double machine, Robbie.
Yeah. I'd like to see Denver make some more moves. I mean, obviously, I'm going to always point out my Brooklyn Nets because it's a clear fire sale. They're in a rebuild mode, and they're willing to give off just about anybody on that team outside Noah Clowney, it looks like, and Jalen Wilson. Cam Johnson could really help him out. Dorian Finney-Smith can help him out. We'll see what happens. Congratulations to Russ.
And no Jokic for the last little bit, Robbie, due to personal. So keep your eye on that, as we mentioned last episode.
Must be his horse over there in Serbia.
Yeah, looking dead horse.
Luka Doncic has a wrist strain. He's out at least for the Dallas Mavericks, Zachary. And this is what I'm going to say about that. Obviously, you're losing arguably the MVP of last year.
Hold on, I'm just going to start. You said out at least for this game for the Dallas Mavericks?
For a week.
Okay.
That means they're going through testing and MRIs and X-rays, whatever. But this is what I'm going to say right now. We alluded to it on Tuesday, I think, with Midge. I believe they were 7-7 at the time. They're 8-7 right now. They've won 3 in a row. They're 5-7 at one point. But the one thing that's been very noticeable about this Dallas Mavericks team is the lack of defensive effort by Luka Doncic. Last year, when they were eliminated and didn't even play in the playoffs, he took the whole offseason serious in terms of playing defense and getting back to his energy. And right now, he's been very lazy and lackadaisical. So let's see what happens when these guys step up. And not for nothing, too, it's not like what it used to be when it was Luka. It was like, fuck, what do we have next? I mean, Jalen Brunson wasn't proven by then. Porzingis was an injury-prone machine. You got Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving led the Brooklyn Nets plenty of times when Kevin Durant was out, and they went on to win some games. So it's not like you're losing anything. You hate losing Luka, but the Robin that you have is arguably the best Robin in basketball.
Yeah. Exactly. They're in a bad position, but it's not the end all be all. I mean, Kyrie's still going to steal you a few games. If it is just a week, obviously that's the best case scenario.
Right.
But we'll just have to wait and see what happens.
Right. Well, the Cavs 15 games have come to an end as the Boston Celtics ruined that on Tuesday by winning by 3 points, and Darius Garland shot 3 of 21 from the field. Now, it's brutal, Zach, but this is what Kenny Atkinson is. Kenny Atkinson is going to tell you, don't stop. Keep shooting the rock. Keep going.
Yeah, get out of that groove.
This guy used to let Jared Allen shoot corner threes if Jared Allen was wide open. He wants you to be aggressive. And I respect that out of Kenny Atkinson, especially out of Darius Garland, who the year before Donovan Mitchell came in, he was getting like 30-point, 20-assist games. Darius Garland can ball. And if he could, and Midge kind of brought it up Tuesday with the backcourt between Drew Holiday and Derek White. That's tough. That is a tough backcourt. And it's a good test for Cleveland to figure out before it comes playoff time.
Well, they had obviously it was not a great start for them, but they fucking made it a game, Robbie. I mean, they were neck and neck with them throughout that fourth quarter, and obviously in the end, as you say, the Celtics get the job done. But I mean, this Celtics team, keep your eye on them going on for this season, folks. Sorry, Cavs team. Also, everyone knows keep your eye on the fucking Celtics, but this Cavs team, I think, is poised to do some damage this year, Robert.
And Zachary, some UConn Husky news. Please hold.
Let's go.
All right. Zachary, history was made. UConn's head coach, Gino Auriemma, for the UConn Lady Huskies, is the all-time most winning coach in NCAA history. He has an impressive resume, Zachary. 11 national titles, 23 Final Four berths. 15 of them have been in the last 16 seasons. 6 undefeated seasons. He's had 2 separate win streaks that have gone to 98 games and 111 games. And on Wednesday night, in front of 60-plus former players and a sellout home crowd at Gamble Pavilion, they go on to win the game 85-41, making him the all-time most winning coach in NCAA history. 1,217, and will continue and continue and continue. Legendary Stanford coach Tara Van Derver, who retired back in April, is who he had passed. Mike Krzyzewski, former Duke head coach, is third. The record breaker was his 329th victory of at least 40 points. He has had more than twice as many 4-point wins in his career as total losses, 162.
I mean, the guy, yeah, that's just impressive. That's impressive.
When you think about the UConn Huskies, Zachary, you think about the women's program, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, their women's team was, I mean, I remember, was it 4 years in a row they didn't lose a game? I think that was my first memory of even like knowing about female college basketball.
Yeah. Yeah.
And obviously it's become a little bit more competitive now, which is nice.
And the thing that's so nice about Gino too, basketball is just a part of the thing. He cares about advancing these ladies' lives. Here's the quote: "When it's no amount of championships and no amount of numbers or awards can take the place of the lives that we've impacted, that they've allowed us to impact. That to me is the strongest part. When it's over, whenever it is, what we'll remember is tonight. And I'll remember each one of my players that I've ever coached. I don't know how much I helped them get what they wanted, but they helped me get everything I wanted."
What a lovely man.
The amount of, and they had a goat walk out onto the court after the win. The amount of talent that has come out of the Lady Huskies, I'd be sitting here for probably 5 minutes going through the amount of talent that they brought in. So I'm just going to go through the most notable ones. Probably the greatest UConn women's basketball player of all time, Diana Taurasi. Sue Bird, Brianna Stewart, Maya Moore, Tina Charles, currently Paige Beckers. And I can go on and on and on. And there was one woman that would have changed women's basketball and brought a lot of attention to Connecticut. Rest in peace, Gigi Bryant.
Yep. Somber.
But congratulations to Gino Auriemma.
Well, a sad end to the basketball section there.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything else left to talk about. Chris Middleton's been cleared, but he's ramping up. Happening very soon. Paul George leaves the game yesterday with the knee injury. It's referred to as a bone bruise, which is the same knee that's been bothering him all season. He's expected to miss at least 2 games as of right now. Zach, they signed this guy to a max contract, and by the time he's done, he's going to be like 37, 38 years old.
And he might have played 30 games in that span of however many years. Not looking good. Not looking good at all.
Right now. All right, Zachary, let's get on to our last sport and get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
All right, if you're not listening to that, if you're not familiar with that sound, it's baseball time. And there has been a lot going on recently in terms of free agents, stadium repairs, and awards. So let's get to the stadium part with the Tampa Bay Rays.
Yeah.
As of right now, going into the season, they're going to be playing at the Yankee spring training facility over there in Tampa. And I think this is actually a good thing, Zach, because the Tampa Bay Rays have the highest TV ratings amongst all 30 teams in baseball. And I alluded to it to you so many times. When you look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and you look at the Tampa Bay Lightning, the stadiums sell out. The fans are active. The location of Tropicana Field has always been an issue. And the fact that they want to put their new stadium in St. Petersburg makes absolutely no fucking sense again. So right now, The city council voted Thursday to spend more than $23 million to repair the hurricane shred roof of Tropicana Field with the goal of having the home for the Tampa Bay Rays ready for 2026. The vote followed a decision earlier this week by the Dan knows the fucking name, but the Pinellas, I think, County Commission to delay until December a vote on revenue bonds need to finance a new $1.3 billion Rays ballpark, a project that is in serious jeopardy according to Rays executives. So the new stadium is in jeopardy of ever opening, Zach. And I think a lot it has to do with the fucking location. It's a terrible location again.
Put it in Tampa Bay. You know what I mean? Like
Put it in Tampa.
It's I don't understand these fucking idiots.
No one does. So, now there's a lot of speculation of, well, are they going to move to Nashville? Are they going to move to Portland? Are they going to move to Oakland? Are they going to move to Montreal? Are they going to move to Orlando? The amount of cities that they can move to, we'd be sitting here for fucking 25 minutes listening to a lot of the most popular cities in America. I don't have time for that. We don't have time for that. So we're not going to do that. But, they are going to play 1 year at Steinbrenner Field, which is also going to the Yankees $15 million of revenue just based off of that. And then maybe by 2026, they'll be back at Tropicana Field. We'll see. But I'll tell you what, if it does hapen, I got to make sure I get Tropicana Field off my bucket list. I want to see how shitty that stadium is. I've heard mixed reviews.
Yeah, I was going to say, you might not have too much time left, so I'd probably do it while you can.
I didn't really care for Oakland because outside of Oakland, it's just a bunch of fucking drug addicts, so I want to stay away from there. Yeah. All right, Zachary, I'm going to try to get through all these awards. I don't know if they have it all in this one article here, but I know the Cy Youngs. I know the MVPs. I believe I know the coaches. What I'll do here is I'll just MLB awards.
Bang, bang, boom.
Okay. The Hustle and Heart, their Heart and Hustle award. Who the fuck gives a fuck about this award? I mean, hockey has a fucking...
Yeah, we got some dumb ones too, but that's just funny, that one. Hustle and Heart award.
Yes. All right, Zachary. Well, let's start off with the Cy Young Awards. If I can find the AL. Oh, I know the AL off the top of my head. So out of the AL, Tigers pitcher Tariq Skubal, who was probably by far the best pitcher in all of baseball this year. He was the main factor of the reason why that they advanced past the Houston Astros in the best of three there. Tariq Skubal has some disgusting stuff, dude. And I don't know what the financial situation looks like for the Detroit Tigers heading into this offseason, but I'll tell you what, Zach, they have a future. I might go as far as say Hall of Famer this early on. I mean, this guy's stuff is almost like what Prime Verlander, what Scherzer was with the Tigers. I mean, he has some elite stuff, dude.
Well, I mean, to win a Cy Young this early on in your career, that speaks for itself right there.
It speaks volumes, and it's just a matter of Detroit maintain them because all these guys end up going.
Yeah, no, that is true. Well, they got to pay the man. You got to throw out the cash here now.
All right, here we go. I got everything now. I got everything. Perfect. Okay, so that's the AL. In the NL, Zachary. Dun, 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 Sale! Chris Sale.
I was wondering what the fuck you were doing there.
Zachary, how many Cy Youngs have Chris Sale won in his career? Chicago.
One.
This is his only one he's won.
Which is kind of sad because the man has been a top of the game pitcher for pretty much his whole career. So this is so well deserved.
He was talking about 2024 being his last year. Chris Sale wins the Cy Young. He completely resurrects his career. Completely injury derailed after the World Series championship with Boston. Couldn't stay healthy at all. And he was one of the main factors why Atlanta made it to the postseason with all the injuries that they sustained. Max Fried was hurt for some point in the season. Acuna missed the rest of the season with torn ACL. Albies was hurt twice. Michael Harris was hurt. Their catchers between Travis d'Arnaud and Sean Murphy had missed time. Austin Riley had missed time. It was a very injury-plagued season for the Atlanta Braves, and Chris Sale's effort is part of the reason why they made it to the postseason.
Yep. I mean, hell of a season for him, and we love to see it. We love to see it. A vet getting that first award. And a well-deserved award, Robbie.
Agreed. The Manager of the Year awards, they go to Pat Murphy, the Milwaukee Brewers, and Stephen Vogt of the Cleveland Guardians. And Zachary, I take how you want it with the AL. A lot of people are very disappointed that AJ Hinch wasn't listed for.
Which he should have been.
But at the same time, too, Stephen Vogt's first year.
Yeah, that's true. Cleveland was a great team this year. So
They made it all the way to the ALC, but you base it off the regular season too.
yeah,
And Cleveland was consistent all season long. If you really look at the Tigers, they had a hot stretch in August. Don't get me wrong. That's remarkable.
but
when
they
you
were
look
not.
at
They were mediocre for the rest of the season, though, Robbie. I will agree with you on that. I mean, it's like you said, they caught fire at the right time. They rode it all the way into the CS, and unfortunately, it just didn't turn into a siesta.
I mean, the same thing with Pat Murphy. He overtakes Craig Counsell, goes over to Chicago, and he does a remarkable job as well. I think that a lot of people need to stop going, because Detroit, they shocked the world. They really did. But in a way, Cleveland did too. Yes, they still have Jose Ramirez, but they lost Shane Bieber again.
Yeah,
Josh Naylor stepped up, and outside of Ramirez and Naylor, Big Christmas was a nice addition late on in the season, but they were consistent all season long, and they had the best closer in baseball in Emmanuel Clase.
Yep.
I think that it's worth the Guardians, Stephen Vogt, winning the award, and I think it's deserved.
Yeah, it could go either way, but I can definitely see the argument right there, Robert.
And for Pat Murphy, it's deserved over Dave Roberts because Milwaukee doesn't have nearly the same amount of talent that the Dodgers have.
You throw me the fucking Dodgers manager, they still would have won a World Series this year, for Christ's sakes.
All right, our rookies of the year, and it's two pitchers. The first one goes to Luis Gil of the New York Yankees. Luis Gil had an amazing start to the season, 1 point, Zachary. I believe he was 6-0. He was by far the best pitcher in the Yankees rotation with Garrett Cole being out. He's better than Rodon. He was better than Stroman. He was better than Cortez. He was our ace for that time that Garrett Cole was out recovering from UCL, and he was dominating baseball. I believe he had one game where he went 6 innings, 14 strikeouts.
Jesus.
And he's young. And yes, he has pitched in the pros before. It's kind of like the Ben Simmons award with what Ben Simmons had with the 76ers. There's certain stipulations. Next year, Jason Dominguez will be qualified for the Rookie of the Year award, and that's going to be my favorite to win whatever team he's on, because there's trade rumors around Jason Dominguez. I think it's deserved to go to Luis Gil. Now the NL, there was no fucking question.
I mean, the man almost won a Cy Young, for Christ's sakes.
Paul Skeens, who is by far the best. Zach, I'm going to buy his jersey too. I am a big Paul Skeens fan, although I do think he might be a cuck, because when you're celebrating your award with an 11 out of 10 right next to you and Olivia Dunn, and all you do is kind of kiss the cheek.
Yeah,
and
he gets to fuck her, dude.
He doesn't have to fuck her, but show some
I
sort
said
of.
he gets to fuck her.
Are we sure though? Because he's very unaffectionate. It looks like.
Yeah, maybe he saves all that love ravishing for the bedroom, Robbie, when it's behind
I
the
hope
closed
so,
doors.
because on screen he looks like a bitch, and I'm like, dude, if I had Libby Dunn, come on, dude, be a man. Zach, who do you like better, Livy Dunn or Brecky Hill?
Livy Dunn. I don't know. Actually, they're both pretty fantastic.
I'm a Brecky guy.
I like lunch.
So Paul Skeens wins for the NL, and he has a 1-of-1 card out, Zachary, if you want to go buy some Topps Chromes card, and if you pull his 1-of-1, you get free season tickets behind home plate for 30 years.
I saw that, yeah.
Which means that I'm going to take care of our good friend Cody Duncan for coming on the show in the past. Haven't heard from Cody in a while, but Cody, if you hear this, those tickets are for you, my friend.
Bam, bam.
All right. Manager of the Year, Rookie of the Year, Cy Young, Gold Gloves. There's a shit ton to choose from. Let's see if there's any Toronto Blue Jays. There is a Toronto Blue Jay in there. Dalton Varsho.
Yep.
He wins a Gold Glove. Let's see if anybody from the Yankees is on there. No. Silver Slugger, though. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. wins a Silver Slugger. Judge wins a Silver Slugger. Juan Soto wins a Silver Slugger. And all right, last but not least, Zachary, our MVPs. Both of them are unanimous. Aaron Judge and Shohei Ohtani, without any doubt. Shohei Ohtani joins Craig Robinson as the only player in MLB history to win an MVP award with the AL and NL. Aaron Judge is the first Yankee to win the MVP unanimously since. See if Zach can guess him.
Derek Jeter.
No, Derek Jeter never won MVP. He should have.
A-Rod.
No.
Judge.
He should have won unanimously in 2022, but one LA voter gave it to Ohtani.
That was a good guess then.
The last one was Mickey Mantle.
Okay, well, I would have never gotten that.
How do you not know who fucking Mickey Mantle
I know
is?
what Mickey Mantle is. That guy's from 1924.
No, he's not. He's from the 1960s, you fucking idiot.
Okay, still the 60s. Well, congratulations. Thank you, Bob. Bob knew I wouldn't know it. Well, congratulations to all the award winners here, Robbie. I'm pressed for time here, Robert.
I know.
I got to get changed and get the fuck out of here.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Zach's got to go swap out his Depends. He's got to go do some fun activities heading into a Friday. Just a reminder, everybody, we're live next Tuesday. No Thursday episode as it is Thanksgiving, and I am going to fucking feast. I'm going to feast. And with that being said, Zachary, take us on out.
You guys heard the man. No episode next Thursday, but we will see you on Tuesday. And there's only one thing left to say. Bob, you're gay, and stay sexy, Sports Cave.
That's two things to say.